All right, hey guys. So I'm going to talk about our internship program. I was on the podcast about 6-8 months ago. I had about an hour to talk with Tyson about it. This is the 20-minute version. But also I'm going to make this a lot more tactical. For most of you guys, what I want you to take away from this is you don't have to build what we have at my firm today in the very first summer that you do it. Just take some action, pick some things, and you guys will be well on your way, because this took 15 years to build with some intentionality and thinking behind it. But I want everybody to leave here. If you want to do something like this, you absolutely can. Okay, so this is the firm. This stuff a little bit about me. We can skip this. Actually, as of January 1st, I'll be the only lawyer out of this group that's still here. That's a different talk for a different day, though. And when Jim's here talking about failures and everything, I'm like, oh God, Jim, you always seem to speak to me. So, but it's, it is what it is. All right, so that's me, fun stuff. So let me have you guys go through just the history of this. I started my firm at 26 years old in 2008. I was only a prosecutor for a year and a half, and I loved it, but I also hated it, so I said, screw it, I'm going to start my own firm. And as soon as you become a lawyer, well, guess what happens? People go, hey, you're a lawyer. My cousin's brother's uncle's daughter is going to be in law school. They need an internship. Can you help them out? And one thing that I didn't realize until I became a lawyer is that the legal profession is a very giving profession. It really is. All of us here, we help each other all the time. Right? We're here, we come to conferences, whether it's legal or business, and we're always looking to help each other, and mentors have really shaped my life. A bunch of my mentors are here, and I've been able to do that and always wanted to give back. So version 1.0 of the internship was come hang out. Sure, can I help your friend? Absolutely, come hang out. What are they going to do? I don't know, because I don't have a program, just come hang out. Right? See what it's like to carry the briefcase every single day. Okay? And there's a lot of value in that, but that's the way it started. Watch court, maybe do some small projects, work on a little discovery, and just have one intern at a time. Right? Raise your hand if you've had an intern and that's what your internship has been. Anybody? Right. Okay. Yeah. And you're providing a good experience for somebody, but how can you get it and make it better? And that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit at the end. Then comes, fun fact. We stopped the internship, I want to say for about a year or two. And the reason we stopped the internship was because in 2014, one of the interns became my future wife. Okay, a little scandalous here for Max Law. Little scandalous, and so my wife, yes, it was kind of, sort of. My wife and I, our grandparents were best friends, and they kind of put us together. But that's how it started. With my granddaughter's needs an internship, and then I remember her grandmother pulled me aside. She goes, "And she's gorgeous," I had a live-in girlfriend at the time, but the old. Yes. Yeah. Hey, it was a great story for our wedding. We've been married 10 years. But my wife's like, at the time, she's like, and this program's got to stop. Right? So now we just make sure we have a lot of interns so there's witnesses so I don't get in trouble. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So anyway, but no, my wife's a gang unit prosecutor in Palm Beach, so she's pretty tough. But that's the way the internship started. Okay. And then in 2018, 2019, I'm building the firm. I'm out. I'm speaking, and I remember I'm speaking to a local high school's criminal law club, and I'm telling them about, you're 16, 17 years old. How do you know what you want to do in life? Go intern, go work at a law firm. Maybe, take a gap year between college and law school. Intern your summers. You have no idea if you even want to be a lawyer. You're 16, 17 years old. And then so this little tiny girl comes walking up to me and she goes, hey, so you said we should intern at places. I'm third in my class out of 700 students. I want to intern with you. And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, damn, I can't say no. All right, so come on. And we had 3 or 4 interns. And then it grew to that. But 2018, 2019 was just more of the same, except we really started taking on 2 or 3 at a time. And again, this is the time that I'm going to masterminds, law firm growth, companies. I'm learning, I'm developing mentors. And here we are, we get to COVID. And one thing that I really learned from some of my mentors is if you believe that, at my firm, we want to have a community impact. We're very big in the community here. We have a counter up in our office that says every time we close a case, it goes up. Or we do it every week. And we're at over 3,200 cases closed. And we say that is the impact because that's how many people's futures we've helped, right? That's how many families we've helped. And if we are the community and the relationship builders, and if we are the pillars in the community, then it's our job and responsibility to take on interns. So COVID happens, right? And I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I truly, genuinely believe in making mistakes, taking action, failing forward. But I made some smart decisions in COVID. And during COVID, what happened was, right, everybody's freaking out. Joined the guild. The guild just got up and running. We're having weekly meetings. I'm making all these great friends online. We're kind of figuring out what to do. And I said, everybody's summer is ruined. Judicial internships, law firm internships, everything, right? Their summer is ruined. Well, if we are the community builders and pillars that we say we are, then it's our moral and ethical obligation to say yes to everybody. Screw it. I'll do whatever. And crazy me took on 13 interns. Back then, when we were a firm of 6 people, we had just grown from 3 to 6 people. Okay, we had twice as many interns as people in the firm. But I genuinely believe that it's our job and responsibility to have an impact. And we did it on Zoom. And I'm in South Florida, where and Fort Lauderdale and Miami was all Zoom, didn't really open up at all. Palm Beach opened up a lot faster. But here we are, and we had time on our hands. There were 2 lawyers, me and another attorney. And so we're starting to take depositions on Zoom. Well, great. We're gonna have a little strategy with them. They're gonna be on the depots, and then we're gonna debrief after with them. We're gonna have them on Zoom court. We're gonna do a lot of things, and it really gave me time to think. How many of us are so busy every day that before we know it, we wake up and we go, oh my God, it's October 9th? What? Right? Or it's 2025? Where did the last 3 years go? Where did the last 5 years go? So COVID gave me just an amazing opportunity to sit and think. And I said, all right, how can we make this interesting for them? Well, the George Floyd murder happened Memorial Day weekend of 2020. Okay, I'm going to use this and we're going to turn it into a project. So we gathered everybody up virtually, and I said, all right, next Wednesday from 1:30 to 5:30, you guys are mine. We have a project. I'm not telling you what it is. I got the jury instructions in Minnesota. I got the police reports for what happened. And we got the autopsy. I think the initial autopsy, the first, 20 pages or whatever came out. And they all came on Zoom, and I said, all right, here's the deal. We're going to do a law school exam. We've been chosen to represent Derek Chauvin. I'm taking the unpopular opinion. Here's the law, here's what he's charged with, here's the police reports, and here's the medical examiner's reports. Write me an essay, write me a law firm memo, 4 hours of how we're going to win this case. Because I'm not going to let you, take the easy road out and say, well, we've all seen it on video, it's horrific, he's guilty. Right? And I said, I'm going to rank you and grade you against each other, just like law school. And we had high school, college, and law students. And you know what? Number 1 was a law student, 2 and 3 were high schoolers. Okay, and we graded them and we gave feedback. My wife helped me with it. And it was tons of fun. And the next year in 2021, we did Bill Cosby's trial as the same project. And we used it as an opportunity to turn them into SEO writers. I had this great SEO project that I wanted to do. We went through and we had 30,000 words of content. We went from February 2020 about getting 600 hits a month on our site to 30,000 during COVID. Okay? Now, we wrote 3 articles that were COVID criminal related, kind of just to ride the wave, and that bumped us. But once those died off, we were consistently at about 10,000 views a month. Okay, and this is one of maybe the 3 or 4 key factors that allowed me to triple my firm in 2021 in revenue and double in size. We went from 6 to 13, and then the following year from 13 to 20 employees. Okay, but a lot of it was this SEO project that we had our interns work on. Okay, and so I'm like, well, wait a minute, like we got something. Like this is a really cool, fun experience. Yeah, I'm a little crazy. Okay, but what can we do to make it even better? So now we're in this is a program. Okay, 2022, we said we're creating a program. So it's curriculum based. Okay, it's a formal program. We get speakers from all across the country. This is a federal judge down in Miami in the middle. Okay, we've taken them to federal court. You know, they're in state court every week. We book club a book on criminal justice. There's a book written by a federal judge in Southern District of New York called Why the Innocent Plead Guilty and the Guilty Go Free. And it's a harsh rebuke of the federal criminal justice system. So there's an academic component, a curriculum, book club. And we had the Judge Jed Rakoff, this summer, we got him to speak to our interns. So it was amazing. And we pair them with our lawyers. So they're in it every single day. We've gone and had OCIs. And I just was like, I want my lawyers to go back to their law school as being there on the other end at OCIs for this. How cool, how amazing. And so I'm like, well, how do I do it? I don't know, just call the career people. And I called them an email and said, we want to do OCIs. We have your alums here. And we do. We go back to our old schools, our local law schools in South Florida. And we have it through a formal application process. So this has been, as we've evolved, this is how it's evolved. But then this year we did something different. We niched down even more. Oh, we have a summer award now where the intern of the summer, we wanted to make it competitive. So our intern of the summer gets that award, and we have a plaque in the office with nameplates for every year. So they can live forever, in the history of the firm. And so it was the same as last version, but we wanted to niche down further, not just criminal law. Not at first it was, you want to go to law school. Maybe you check this off your box. Maybe you get inspired. Then it really went to criminal law. Maybe you want to be a prosecutor. Well, that could benefit me as well, because at least we can have an influence in some prosecutors and let them know that we're good people and know what it's like to represent good people. But now it's criminal justice. And what we've done is we've partnered with criminal justice organizations in South Florida and around the country. Okay? And as y'all know, by niching down, niches create riches. And so now we've been able, from an SEO and a digital marketing play, to get backlinks from hyperlocal and nationwide criminal justice organizations that link back to our site and our program. We've had media and PR based on this. I've been on their podcast. They've been on mine. We've created more relationships, okay, that are spreading by niching down into this. It's helped our branding. Back when I started, I could not care about branding. Now with 25 people in the firm, trying to get to, obviously be bigger, branding is a big, important thing, and I want us known as a law firm that really stands up for people and social justice initiatives. It's very important to me. And it's helped us get better interns that really know what they want to do. And so we really focused on this last summer. What we do is we open up applications every year in January, and January through April is when we do it, and we have our program. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, let's see if this works. But we have our program that's run May through first week in August. This is a little video. I only wanted to play about a minute of it, but my marketing team put this together, and it's on our site. And again, it's used when we're trying to make connections with other organizations, and it's used to create hype and promote the firm. Let's see. Yeah, I think that there was some internet issues where it wasn't going to work. Okay. Well, it's on the site, and you guys can look it up. All right. And one of the things that I realized with talking with a lot of these criminal justice organizations is, look, my internship is elite. It is elitist. It's high academic. We have Duke Law, Cornell Law, Miami, Florida, and what we do is we split. We only take 3 undergrad students from one local private school in South Florida, American Heritage, where I have a deep connection with, and then it's college and law students. And you either need to have a tie to South Florida or have the money or both to be able to work an unpaid internship for the entire summer. This past summer, we had two law students move to South Florida. They lived together, one from Penn State Law and the other from Duke Law. Okay? It requires a certain financial stability to do that. We know that. We get it. Okay? But I wanted to add something else on while still keeping the internship separate. So through talking with the criminal justice organizations, next year we're going to offer a new program. And this is going to run September through April. So it's not going to conflict. Okay? And this is going to be, it's really a mentorship program. It's a paid mentorship program where we will pay somebody to come work at the firm, right? Okay, obviously an employee, but somebody maybe with no experience. Somebody who maybe was a high school dropout and got his or her GED. Maybe went to a technical school. Maybe had a criminal case. And maybe they want to be a lawyer. Maybe they want to work at the clerk of the courts or the public defender's office, as a support staff role. Maybe they want to be a paralegal, a legal assistant, but no one will ever give them a chance because of their criminal record or because of their lack of education. So we're doing this where it's a one hire, one at a time for that period, hands-on experience, learning. Best case, they come and become a full-time employee with us. Worst case, they now have new skills, and they have it on their resume, and we can help open the door for them. Maybe not at the fancy prosecutor's office because they're kind of judgy, but maybe at the clerk of the court, maybe at the public defender's office, and they can move into a great career. Okay? And so that was something that just came from talking with these organizations. So what can you folks do? Okay, and this is something I talked to Tyson a lot about over the past few months. Because he's like, Adam, I want you to, yes, your program's nice and you built it over 15 years, right? But here are some things that everybody here can do right now today if you want to do something like this. And you can start with one intern, but make it intentional. Have an actual plan. Who's managing? What is the day-to-day going to look like? Because the worst thing for an intern is just to come, hang out, and be bored. Unless they want you to be their future husband, okay? Then it works. No, but define the work, right? Create the experiences. Be creative. We are all so creative at our cases, our casework. Whether it's criminal defense, personal injury, estate planning and trust are some of the most creative, and tax lawyers. Some of the most creative lawyers I know. So why can't you just think, be deliberate, think, and let's give them great experiences, okay? You want to onboard well, because the last thing is somebody, they're coming in and they're just bored, or they feel like they're a bother. You don't want that at all. And you can do it. Keep it simple, go slow, be intentional, and everybody here can have a great program. Okay, it's really pretty easy. That's all I have for you guys. So if you want to stay in touch, okay, my LinkedIn's here. I'm getting big in LinkedIn, so let's hang out. And I think I have like 3 minutes. So am I allowed to do a Q&A? Anybody want to hear any jokes? No. Is there any questions?
How do you make sure that you're not in trouble with FLSA for having the interns do any work?
Right. So that's a great question, and it's because we have the curriculum. Okay, there's an academic component to it. All right, so it is curriculum based. Now, and that's important. We have weekly meetings. We teach. We book club. We have the speakers there. Right, and look, these interns, I mean, a lot of the feedback we've gotten is like, we want more, give us more. I mean, we had 300 applicants for this summer. 300. Now, we're really good on SEO, but we also put it out on WiseHire, and just applicants, and we had to do group interviews for the first round because I couldn't do them all. So people really, really, really want this. One thing that I've thought about, one thing that really bothers me is the hypocrisy of law school, that they won't give school credit for this. So I'm considering starting a nonprofit and seeing then if we can either get funds to pay through the nonprofit or at least get credit, school credit from the nonprofit, because it really frustrates me. Because we lost like 3 good candidates this summer because they wouldn't get credit.
When you had them do SEO copy, did you give them credit for their writing on the website, or how do you do that?
No, we didn't give them credit. I mean, it was the same as like an agency or a vendor, and we edited it a lot, but no, I didn't think we needed to. I think we had them sign an agreement saying they were going to do that, 5 years ago. So, yeah. The handsome young gentleman in the front.
I spoke at your internship class, because we have interns at our office, and what blew me away was that you get so many bright people there. This was not an empty internship program. Like, these guys were all in. I spoke for like an hour.
Yeah, and then we had happy hour.
And what's nice is one of these interns still stay in touch with me, but it's also good because a lot of them will, you're young, so you get the benefit of 10, 15 years of these people. A lot of them will be in their community, will refer to your business, will remember you, and will refer you to other interns.
Right. And one of our interns from this summer, her best friend's older sister was our intern 2 summers ago. Yeah. And so that happens. And we've had people now become prosecutors from my internship. We've had people now at the public defender's office. And there are 1 or 2 superstars that I can't wait until they're ready to come home and come join the firm. So it's been very helpful for all of those things. And Bill was so gracious and generous to come on down, talk, it was amazing. So if there's anything I can do, text me, call me, I'm around, follow me on LinkedIn. Like, I'd love to help because I'm very passionate about this. I think all of us, we can and should have that responsibility to help others and really show that being a lawyer is amazing. Running a law firm is amazing. How many people do we know where they'll talk to a young person and say, well, don't be a lawyer. Don't be a lawyer, right? Get that. Young people get that all the time. No, this is amazing. What we do creates so much value. So thank you guys very much.